The design, it definitely steered away from the cultural theme in the downtown, which Virginia was okay with because she said as you get out of downtown, you're not truly held to that. But worked into the design were bowling specific elements, and it did say sunset lanes, and their concern was that we were using taxpayer money to create a private billboard, or create a billboard for a private business. And completely understanding that without trying to like rock the boat or anything, I think it's completely feasible to go back to the drawing board. And the original design was inspired by dark skies, space, extraterrestrial, legacy of the area, Nevada stuff, but it certainly felt very bowling alley, as opposed to a mural for the community. So if that's, I'm completely okay with going back to the drawing board. So that's what we'll be doing on Thursday. From a history standpoint, final touches on the Prometheus display. We're really just like dialing in the last bit of the details, because once it's printed, it is on there. Outdoor recreation, singletracks.com, destination feature was launched, naming us the top 3 under the radar mountain bike destinations in the country. One of those influencers that was brought out here was Carrie Ward. She was out September 6th through 11th and participated in Race the Rails with her family. She also did Garnet Hill, Great Basin, Lehman Caves, and kayaking on Cummins Lake. So she's putting out all of her stuff now. If you follow her on social media. Great Basin Trails Alliance had their annual meeting on September 14th. We had like 25 people come to it. It was amazing. Everybody was begging for the next meeting, and they wanted it within the month. So we have another meeting on October 12th, and that's going to be to divvy out just duties, responsibilities, ideas, things like that. Just get more support within the Trails Alliance.
So from 3 people to 25.
3 to 25.
Pretty good shot.
Overnight. 15 years to be an overnight success. And then the cinch cycling team was in town for the 4th through the 11th. It was an amazing experience. Not only did they have an amazing time training here, they also beat the train, and the first legitimate group to ride the long course and actually beat the train. BJ did as well this year, so his training with that team has paid off. But we got a ton of photographs, which we were severely lacking in the gravel time, or the gravel field. They came out and rode with our NICA team and hung out and answered questions, and that camaraderie locally meant a lot to the students. And then their #1 rider just got selected. Their #1 and 2 rider just got selected to represent America in gravel worlds in Europe. So they got that news while they were here in Ely. So that was a great experience. So upcoming events, holiday trains at the Nevada Northern Railway. That is what is going on in October, November, and December. So Errol has a great campaign planned for kind of just celebrating the whole 35th anniversary of the train, as well as going into the holiday trains. And then for ongoing projects, still working on finishing up that sound system. Go check out the back hallway. It is finished, it has been painted, it is brighter and more welcoming than the dingy green that it was. And you can see the events that are coming up at the convention center here. Our follow-up meeting tomorrow, the NNRY's Iron Horse Symposium is the correct name, this weekend. Nevada GOP Boys and Girls Club is doing their event. Robinson Mine will be here, and then a private party on the 22nd.
Great.
Any questions?
Any questions or comments? It's a busy month.
Yeah.
That's great.
And I will turn it over to Errol. I'll bring up his marketing report.
Marietta, do you have any questions?
No.
Go ahead.
Hi.
You still working?
I think so.
Do you want to plug in Errol?
Yes.
If not,
Oh,
then
shoot.
Hang on just a minute, Errol, okay?
My cursor is.
no, I'm Marietta.
Okay, just trying. There we go.
There we go. Okay, thank you. And yeah, I'm gonna breeze through it because much like Kyle's, it was a busy month, but ultimately easygoing and successful. So right on Facebook, so we were up 91 followers, so we're now at 7,221. You can see I attached just some screenshots of 2 successful posts. What I just want to mention about those is they were Race the Rails related, and you can't tell in the black and white version, but the color just shows that they were completely organic. So that was unboosted, we didn't put any money behind them, and they got white coverage. Race the Rails went super well. I think on a marketing standpoint, even after the race was over, we had several people come in, either from word of mouth or marketing, asking for more Race the Rails maps. Even after Race the Rails was done, because they had heard about the Trains to Trails ticket, and they wanted to also like do the Race the Rails ride and maybe sign up next year and whatever else.
That's very cool.
Moving on to Instagram, we're up 40 followers, so we're now at 2,989. Twitter, we're at 468, which I believe is actually up from last month, consistently about 10 or 12. Moving on to our targeted digital and display targeting, under search retargeting, it received 181.9 thousand impressions, 131 clicks, and a click-through rate of 0.07%. Our search engine marketing received 7.1 thousand impressions, 586 clicks, and 3 leads. And moving on to our geofencing campaign, which I've been talking about for months, which was the horse races geofencing campaign. So that was where we basically showed people an ad or we tracked people based on their interest of search words or where they visited type of thing, and we just tracked them and put a circle around Ely to see how many of those people that we fed this horse racing ad actually visited Ely. And so this past month, because it ended on the 9th of this month, it received 145.8 thousand impressions. I did look back and I wrote it down here on my own copy. I went as far back as right before the horse races, just to see track and how many people saw it from that time and how many people entered Ely from that time. So it did receive 212.5 thousand impressions, so that's how many people saw it and how many people we tracked, and 148 clicks on the ad itself, trying to look more into the event itself. From that, so going as far back as right before the horse races and including this month, we had 0 walk-ins. So all the people that received that ad didn't actually come to Ely. So now we know.
Well, yeah. Typically, people have to see something 7 times before they respond to it, and you typically get like 2% of those to even do anything.
So the take home of it is you really don't ever get that data anyway. It's always anecdotal when you put out an ad
Now we
of
know
whether
or not the ad worked.
and the benefit of it is it was shown to people 212,000 times.
Yeah.
And
So I would like to say that the ad did very well.
How much did it cost us?
I think we did $1,000 is the spend limit on it.
That's not bad.
It's not.
No.
That's why I love these things,
Just
because you
for-
can set your, and the spend is on the impressions, it's not on the people who walk through. So we got our money's worth in the impressions for
Right.
that.
We got
That budget.
the branding quality
Yep.
of it, right?
Totally. So we just thought that was something, a piece of information not worth withholding, that this is the benefit of doing a geofence campaign, and
Yeah,
this is what happened.
love it.
And absolutely, it was also, we ran it at the end of April or May. And so that also could just be like the timing of all, they saw the horse races, they had other horse races in mind maybe. And so next year, it's now officially on the radar, they definitely saw it. And so that's hundreds of thousands of people for possibly next year's horse races, 2023. Moving right on to our YouTube ad, so that received 44.2 thousand impressions, 25.1 thousand views, and 30 clicks on our YouTube ad. The website, top 5 pages this month, as always the homepage, lodging, things to do, the Race the Rails featured event that I had on the homepage, and our dining page. Under new versus returning visitors, 84% of visitors visiting our website were new, and returning was 16%, which is actually up from previous months. Typically we stay kind of in that 12% range, so we were up about 4%-ish. Under device breakdown, you can see that most people are visiting the website on mobile. There was like a short period of time right around January of last year, where it kind of stayed consistent of being 50-50 between mobile and desktop. And it's clearly just going the mobile way, so just making sure the website looks good on the phone.
It does.
And, oh, thank you. And the last thing I'll add is what Kyle mentioned at the end of his report. I have a media campaign at the ready, and Kyle has a copy of it. I'll be emailing anybody who wants a copy. Obviously, all the board's gonna get a copy of the toolkit. And it's just a media campaign to celebrate the 35th anniversary year of the Nevada Northern Railway operating as it has for 35 years. And so it'll just be, October will be train month, more or less. And like Kyle said, celebrating and promoting holiday trains, the Haunted Ghost Train and Santa's Reindeer Flyer, which runs all through December.
And the pumpkin trains.
And the pumpkin trains.
And then I do have a copy of the schedule of the Iron Horse Symposium this weekend. If anybody's interested in that, we can make copies of that as well.
Website idea question.
Yes.
Because I'm looking at the things to do tab. We should put the events calendar on the things to do page. So, no, I don't mean move the whole thing there, but I mean have a link.
Have another link over there too.
Just because it's at the bottom when you look at the menu, like it's not even, you gotta go down pretty far to find
Yep.
the events calendar. But if people are looking for things to do, knowing what's coming up on the calendar would be pretty.
That's a good call.
Absolutely.
Cool. Thanks, Ian.
Perfect. Okay, and I'm happy to take any questions. Anything else?
Any comments or questions?
Good job.
Oh,
Thank
thank you.
Thank you very much,
You're
Earl.
in a paycheck
Thank you.
today. Good job.
Okay, at this time, we'll go into public comment. Any public comment, Marietta? How about from our audience? George, do you have any?
I do.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Madam Chairman, I'd like to see a detailed map of the proposed monument. And looking at the map that was given out today, the proposed monument is close to half the size of the Great Basin National Park. I don't see where roads access that particular monument, if they're gonna be restricted down the way. Just looking at it, you really can't really tell where it's at. So we need more detail, more information, not just.
I have a better map. I just couldn't find it, so I will get that to you.
Okay, I thought you were trying to treat me like the city council does.
No.
Thank you. Madam Chairman, I get to see anything on your agenda regarding the Heritage Park. Again, I want to remind you, once the, again, national studies discourage the placing of schools and parks near truck stops. We need to address that. It's a safety issue. I've yet to see anything on your agenda in regards to Broadband Park and retaining of the present grandstand. That unit is a $500,000 asset or better. I want to know if this city wants to scrap it. I want to know if they plan on relocating it. But nobody wants to sit on wet grass. Downtown is struggling. And to take an asset like that out of operation is not sitting well with the business community. Madam Chairman, for months I've been trying to get information in regards to the Nevada Northern Museum continuously getting money from this board, and yet they don't work under the open meeting law. We need to know how that money is spent. Nothing has been addressed as to regards to the rumors that I've reported in the past, where the tens of thousands of dollars have been embezzled. I want an answer, true or false. I want it in writing. I've also asked in regards to the Silver State Motel having proper licensing, business license, city, state, so on and so forth. I see vehicles all the time, yet I'm not seeing any feedback. I also asked in regards to list of bills. You approved the check back on April 22nd, 2022. Number 10870 to Rack's Barn Grill, an amount of $1,140 for meals at a meeting. Again, what was that meeting for? When was it approved? I'm still waiting for that information. Going back even farther, I'm concerned about the money that was given to the community choir for pigeon control. I want to remind you, you cannot support a private club. At the time that they got that money, it was improper. That needs to come back. I want an answer. I've also asked in the past, and I'm asking again, in regards to the railroad, they keep asking for money, and we don't know how it's being spent. They either come under the Nevada open meeting law.
That's 3 minutes, thanks, George.
Thank you, George.
I need some information. The open meeting law says 3 days or 5
That's
days,
3
not
minutes.
5
Thanks,
years.
George.
Okay, Counselor,
Thank you.
take your time and look
All
at that.
right, I will, any other public comment? At this time, we will adjourn the meeting. Thank you for coming.
Bye, Marietta.
You guys are just in time. Oh, that's good. We don't have control. We don't always have control. But we notice things. Thank you, Errol.
Thank
Thank you,
you,
everyone.
everyone.
Hours
See you
every
soon.
Saturday and Sunday.
Oh,
Oktoberfest?
Yeah.
We're gonna get some free
Yes.
So we're back, we'll be back a bunch and,
Together if you want.
in October, we'll be hanging out. Over Thanksgiving. Nice.
What's the idea? I'll be working on some stuff tonight.
Ryan, do you have your bike with you?
I don't.
Brian Gorger without a
I
mic.
know.
This has been a Georgetown production. George Chachis reporting.